good whatever to you whenever you are joining this episode of Chatting With. I am your host, Dylan, and this is my guest, Dirty Dalish. Good morning, Dalish.
Morning. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Good to see
And
you, Dylan.
yes, good to see you again. Thanks for having me on your stream. And in the little pre-show talks, you did book me for a second episode of Finding Love in the Dabbleverse. So it came out around neutral the first time, and there were a few mistakes. Once you pointed it out, I was like, I was silly right there. That does deserve a point off. And some of it was to do with our different uh, movies. I like comedy movies, which I fall back to. You're a horror movie fan. Slither, I forgot to mention during the conversation. Are you a fan of the James Gunn movies coming up from Trauma? And Slither is one of my absolute favorites.
I see. This is where I'm dumb and you're a movie buff. You would have to teach me all these things because I never watched Slither. We'd have to watch that together, right?
That's a good one. James Gunn, love his style, love the way he uses music, and he came up through, as I mentioned, Trauma. I don't know if you like bad movies, like Trauma movies are bad horror. They are B minus, not even B, like C plus B minus movies. Some people can't stomach them. Some people have fun with them.
Sometimes if it's gory, that can make my stomach a little queasy, but I do like bad, cheesy, scary movies. I'll just take it all. Just give me all the horror. Whatever I haven't watched, I'll consume it because I put on way too many awful scary movies that you would laugh at them. So I shouldn't have rated you badly on your movies when I'm watching these terrible ones.
There is a fine line between watchable bad and just bad that hurts. And it helps having a buddy with you to do the old Mystery Science Theater poking fun at the shitty movies. Like Birdemic was a popular one that's absolutely terrible. And a big thank you to Dalish for starting a raid over on Twitch. I see a lot of comments coming in. Usually I'm very interactive with the chat, and I've found while interviewing someone, I really can't communicate with the chat. I will say thanks to A. Smith for the super chat. He put it out early, and for some reason it deletes the early super chats for some reason. So super chats I'll read. Otherwise, at the end, I will get to your chats. Thank you all for dropping in and rating. And A. Smith dropped $8. I have to give y'all some money before my son finds out I have some.
Welcome to the stream, Lemmy, and thank you, A. Smith, for the tip.
Yes, thank you. Just getting monetized. I'll have some watch-alongs coming. Unfortunately, I have to take that away from YouTube. I would like to bring the watch-along to YouTube. Luigi Greenberg and I don't think it's up your alley. We've preliminarily agreed to the Ray Pruitt years of 90210, which is bad, but I think this one's going to hurt. It's bad 90s teen melodrama.
You know, speaking of watching movies that hurt to see, I don't know if you watched the Flash movie. I tried to watch 5 minutes of it and I had to fuck it off. Like, I could not. It was so bad. He puts a baby in a microwave and that's when I clicked off. It's like, whose Flash is this? Not mine.
I haven't watched it. I've learned who to stay away from. J.J. Abrams is a fantastic director. When he gets in the writing room, oh, that's bad news. And his buddies, Kurtzman and Lindelof. I have never had an abusive relationship with a television show before Lost, and I never will again.
It taught you to stay away from
Lindelof,
abusive
Hughes,
people.
Yeah. Once you
the show.
Once you tell people that you ran into the door so many times, sometimes you have to admit Lindelof, Hughes, and the rest, they hit me They hit me and they told me that I deserved it, and it's what I asked for. I did not ask for that, Lost. And the new Star Trek series, Discovery, I got flashbacks to Lost. After 2 episodes, I was like, I know this formula. No, never again.
PTSD. You're like, don't hit me with that door. God, please.
Do you get into sci-fi at all? Because I do go down that rabbit hole.
Occasionally. I was just talking to Lemmy about maybe getting into Star Trek because I never grew up watching that. I haven't seen any of those movies. She recommended Next Generation. She said everybody should watch that. So I'm most likely going to start with that. It's got
I'm with
Patrick
Lemmy.
Stewart.
I was a
love him.
late bloomer into Star Trek, and the Next Generation. You might want to start at season 3. The first 2 are a bit hard. They found their footing in season 3, and Deep Space Nine became my favorite. I was like, I absolutely adore Next Generation. Nothing is going to top that, and I became a bigger fan of Deep Space Nine. Same thing. It took a season or a couple of seasons for them to find their footing, but the very first episode of the Next Generation stinks, whereas the first episode of Deep Space Nine is fantastic.
My goodness. Well, now I feel like I have to watch the first episode. I want to see why it stinks.
They basically, it's network interference. Often has a step in that. They wanted a big event, a big 2-hour, so they mushed together 2 episodes that didn't need to be mushed together to get to the double episode runtime. And it'll hurt if you just go in knowing that the first episode introduces one of the most beloved characters of Q, and they use him very sparingly. He drops in like once a season, sometimes twice every so often, and he is too much of him would have been bad. And so yeah, definitely those 2 are top tier. The original series is hokey. You might be able to enjoy it, but it's very of its time. A Western in space is how he sold it, so it is very hokey to the modern eye. The original series.
I don't know. Which one did you prefer, Star Wars or Star Trek? I gotta ask that question.
I grew up a Star Wars fan. I love the movies, and the new Star Wars series. There are some good ones. The first season of The Mandalorian is really good. The second one, not as top notch, but really good as well. And Andor. I was just talking last night to someone. Andor, you don't even need to know anything or watch any other of the Star Wars series. Andor is just the top notch of the new Star Wars. When they did the prequels, I came out confused. I was like 13, 14 when I was in the theaters, and I was like, did I like that? I don't know if I liked that.
You didn't like Jar Jar Binks?
I came out confused because when you're 13, 14 and wanting to like what you see, I was just like, I don't know how I feel about what I just saw.
When I watched the prequels, I went into it knowing you either love it or you hate it.
My roommate does love it. He's a little younger than me, and he loved it. I was well, now that JJ made his, I now appreciate the prequels. What JJ Abrams did with his messing around with the Star Wars sequels, I now actually do appreciate. I think he was flawed in his vision, but I do appreciate what George Lucas was trying to do there.
Yeah, they've changed a lot of the lore when it comes to Star Wars in a way that makes my heart hurt. Like when you think about the base of what it was and what it's changed into, that's why it's harder for me to get into these new stories. Because the crystals specifically is one of the things that irks me, how they've changed that. Like, the crystals used to be really an interesting part of every Jedi story, but now I guess it's more of a manufactured thing rather than you're saying sending the Padwans in to go, get their crystal, and if they don't make it, well, I guess you weren't meant to be a Jedi. You weren't meant to have a fucking pew pew saber.
Sometimes over explaining, you want to give the backstory, and sometimes that's not a good idea. And the more they give the backstory, the more, there's fans like us, like, I didn't want that to be the backstory. I kind of made up something in my head of how this works, and now this is canon, how it works over here.
Right? I think sometimes you're totally right. It's good to make it a little bit ambiguous. That way you give the fans, you can make your own headcanon in a sense. And it's not wrong, but it might not be correct. But then when they don't give you that option, it does tend to feel so manufactured. And I think that's how Star Wars feels at this point. And it used to have a little bit more soul in it. Jar Jar Binks had some heart to him.
He was, as much as he makes a lot of people cringe, he did come from a place inside George Lucas's heart. So kids are gonna love this guy. He's gonna be fantastic.
I will say, if you watched the animated Clone Wars series, Jar Jar Binks is kind of beloved in that for me. I love C-3PO and R2-D2. They really give some more life to those characters. Not that they are boring to begin with, but
a lot of people talk very highly of the animated series, and the Boba Fett series is. I remember when I pointed and laughed at it, and I was like, "This is over." But they introduced that blue guy, Cad Bane. I'm like, this guy is fantastic. He's from the cartoons, right? And yes, he's one of the main. Cad Bane, his small appearance in the Boba Fett, I was like, I want more of this guy. It will get me to go watch the cartoons.
Yeah, in the animated series of Clone Wars, I would definitely give it a chance, especially if you like The Mandalorian, because it gives you a little bit more story on. I don't even remember what they're called at this point. Their little gang.
I know the Bad Bunch got their own spin-off. Those and I know little bits and pieces from the cartoon, and I'm aware of some of the offshoots, but just here and there that it's like, oh, this is fun what they did.
To be fair, I think I was like 15 when I watched it, and I'm 25 now. So my memory is a little hazy on it. But it's fucking fantastic. I'll give it that. A lot of people actually tell me that they don't like it and that it's the worst thing in Star Wars, like one of the worst series. I think that's mean. I think it's really good.
Sometimes you do have to leave those things in the past, like our buddy Alf here. Fans of Alf, do not go back and watch it. Alf is dog shit. Keep those, stay golden, Pony Boy. Do not ruin those good memories of Alf.
I feel like if I went back and watched it, I would still really enjoy it, but it would be a bit slower than I remembered because I took breaks for months between seasons when I was a teenager, and the whole thing was out. I could have binged it on Netflix, but I know there were some points that I just dropped off, and then I would come back in like, hey, I remember this show was really good. I really like Ahsoka in this. She's great. Anakin, he's cool.
And the Ahsoka live action series, I give it a thumbs in the middle. The first several episodes, the full on Siskel and Ebert thumbs down. But by the end, they introduced enough to get me to say this this wasn't good, this wasn't bad. There were some good elements. The actress that played the Ahsoka's Padawan, I don't think they got the right woman for the role.
Yeah. I didn't watch the live action show. I've only ever seen her in the animated series, and then there's a book about Ahsoka that I'm not quite sure if it's canon to the whole Star Wars universe, but it's really good. It's about when she goes off, Anakin has turned to Darth Vader and she can't use the Force, and she meets this other little lady that ends up having a crush on her. Very cute. In the animated series, she also has like a little romance. I don't think they kiss, but like you could tell they have a crush on each other in the show. Her and another
Heavily
Jedi lady.
implied.
Yeah. So it's the one that ends up turning and making Ahsoka realize that maybe the Jedi aren't good, and she turns to being a gray Jedi. And that's before, all the shit goes down, and they gotta yeet their lightsabers, say fuck you to the Force, and run away.
What was fun about the Star Wars extended universe with the comic books and books before the sequels happened? Like, I think George Lucas was basically like, it's a choose your own adventure of what you do and what you do not accept as canon in the extended comic book and book universe. And then, yeah, that's another thing that kind of crushed people's expectations with the sequel Star Wars was like, this is what happened. None of the, and they didn't take inspiration from like anything. They just started from the ground up versus with the series of Star Wars. They took that inspiration from the what's his face? It was involved with the cartoons. Is involved with the live action series, so he's got a real love for what he did and wants to bring the best parts to live action.
Yeah, I don't know. Star Wars, maybe it wasn't as good as I think it was, like in the past and now. Like maybe it's just always been shit, because we could sit here and talk about all the things wrong with it, but then there's those little things that it just makes you stick around. You're like, wait, Star Wars is good. There's these characters, they have hope, and like maybe, yeah, they ruined Han Solo, and they could have done better with Leia, but I still love them.
The potential that wasn't quite met, and that's Voyager. Going over to Star Trek again. Star Trek Voyager is unrealized potential. I watched that all the way through after Deep Space Nine, and I was like, this had so many ways to go, and they didn't.
You see what it could have been. When you love something so much, they could have done better.
There are certain characters that they very much focused on, and others that were just nothing. They were just plain not fleshed out in 6-7 seasons. I also mentioned a lot of comedy movies under your radar, and you being a bit younger, I can see how you missed something like Coming to America. That one I put over big time. I was like, okay, of all the movies I mentioned, some of them are obscure, especially the one I just covered with Spurgsnake, Used Cars. That one is pretty obscure, but a fun little hidden gem. Coming to America, I definitely have to put that one over as some of Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was on fire in the 80s. I imagine your first exposure was probably to Family Eddie Murphy when he started doing all the Dr. Doolittles and playing all the different characters.
I think Daddy Daycare was the first thing I probably watched him in.
Yeah, you got familiar with him first as Family Man Eddie Murphy. He had two filthy, dirty comedy specials, Raw and Delirious, and did a lot of edgier characters before he had kids, and was like, I would like my kids to be able to see my movies. So yeah, big catalog of filthy, dirty Eddie Murphy. That he actually saved Saturday Night Live. Season 6, they almost cancel it mid-season. They brought in Eddie Murphy, and he helped keep it on life support until they were able to right the ship.
See, that's another one. SNL, Saturday Night Live. Too young. I mean, there's obviously Dick in a Box, but that's about as far as my references go.
And when I was young, Comedy Central was playing reruns of Saturday Night Live ad nauseum. So I got to catch up on those older seasons. I actually owned season 1 through 5 on DVD, and they stopped putting them out after that. Lorne Michaels really doesn't want any more put out after that, because season 6 through like 8, 9, he wasn't involved with, and he doesn't want those out there. That's fun that it's complete too. They have the musical performances and everything in the DVDs, and it's funny how like, yeah, that was the first season was 11 years before I was born, but there's still some great quotes. I think there should be more violins on TV that are with me. It was a character doing she was supposed to do a report on violence on TV and how there's too much violence. I think there should be more violins on TV. They are very classy instruments. Violence. Oh, never mind.
You know, now that you mention it, I probably have seen so many GIFs from those days of SNL that I just don't know to attribute it to that. I just think of it as a little meme to use in messages or Twitter responses. I guess X responses, right? But
I still use
other people
Twitter.
know what it comes from.
I'm going to be one of those people. I'm not saying that new name. X makes me think of X hamster or something like that. It's just so ambiguous when you had quite a personality under Twitter. So sure, it's X, but people still know what the hell I'm talking about when I use the old name of Twitter.
I mean, the other one is kind of fitting for me, though, right?
Yes, it is. X is proper for what you're putting out there, and your pinned tweet is promoting your OnlyFans very well. And I saw in your profile it says you are in the top 6.9% creators, which is a heck of an accomplishment to be that high up. And I would want to never look at it again, because 6.9% is a fun number to be at exactly.
My usual response to people when they say it's such an accomplishment is, well, yes, thank you, but it's not as hard as one would think, because to get in the top 50%, you really just have to post and like have 5 subs, right? It just means that you're above the 50% that aren't making anything.
Some that are just inactive, that are still there and being counted, gets you to be able to cross that threshold, I suppose.
And then getting into the top 20%, I remember I got so excited, but it was much easier than I ever thought possible. And then when I got to the top 10, yes, that is a bit harder to hold. Top 5, definitely. Yeah, I think 6.9 is the sweet spot for me. So it obviously fluctuates, but that's my sweet spot. I've seen people be in the top 0.01%. That would be a dream, but unfortunately, I'm not a celebrity like that. You got to be like a TV show lady that's like, hey, you guys want to see these melons? I don't
have that built-in fan base who already have a crush on them. That's yes, I would. And some of those celebrities, they don't need to get too explicit. Eventually, they probably do, but some just here's some bikini shots, and you're already a fan, so come on over.
People like Keanu who think just Instagram lewds are gonna get them anywhere. Just kidding. She's ashamed of those. Don't go look up her asshole on the internet, guys. It's really not that good.
Don't do that. Actually, you reminded me of a stand-up comic from Los Angeles who was on the scene and also did porn, and she would talk about her self-consciousness of her asshole. And there's no, it's just a mole right near my asshole. There's nothing on your screen.
Oh, she's scared that people think it's a little shit on her asshole.
Actually, I don't think she mentioned that joke. That was such an easy lateral for her to make. But yeah, the jokes you would make. No, you don't need to scratch your screen. It's not dust. It's just a little imperfection that instead of a beauty mark on my cheek, it's on my butthole.
I mean, that's not what they're rubbing, but that's what I'm saying. I totally know the real reason she's insecure about her butthole. She thinks people are gonna think there's, because of the mole, they're gonna think it's a little shit she didn't clean up. But you're supposed to love your imperfections. If you make fun of them, then other people will see them for how you do, right?
Yeah, I enjoy an imperfect smile. There was a recent co-host audition I did where someone in the chat was getting on the lady's smile, and I'm like, actually, that is not a minus to me. A little imperfections in the smile, I have, for some reason, I've always enjoyed. The gap between the teeth. There's something about that. I theorize. Here's another obscure movie for you that I saw, Eating Raoul at a young age, and the kinky lady that they hired to seduce a guy. She's very dark-haired, glasses, and a gap between her teeth. And yeah, she's not traditionally beautiful, but there's something just very attractive about her.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
I enjoy all like when people ask what's my type, there is no one type. Tall ladies, petite ladies, curvy, like you're I think DJ Electra when talking like there's so many booby ladies on my show TikTok around the clock that I appreciate. And she was like, are you okay with small breasts? I'm like, yes, small breasts are perky and very attractive, just like big old floppy boobies are very attractive. So the tall women, though, I'm 5'8", and I'm getting to the age where gravity is going to start pushing me down to 5'7". So they usually feel insecure with a little Joe Pesci guy by their side.
Well, you won't have to worry about me. I'm 5'1", so when I shrink, I'll be what? Like 4'9", 4'11".
Nope. Getting under the 5-foot mark, you will officially be in the Bridget the Midget category as gravity starts pushing you down.
Oh no. Well, that means you'd have to like break your back to give me a smooch, right? I guess forehead smooches only when we get to old age. See, I'm already giving you the old age chances, and we got to make it to the second date.
Yes, I do like how we ended the first episode on a maybe second date, maybe not. And the second date is on, and now we're getting ahead of ourselves of talking about how we just need to rub foreheads when we instead of the little gnome nose kiss. Actually, that would be kind of proper. You do the elf type of cosplay. So little David the Gnome nose kisses would be proper.
What can I say though? The nerdy stuff, it gets me going. Whew.
And that is right. That's come quite into style, being a nerd. So this is the Revenge of the Nerds movie from 1980s. But that one isn't on the top of the list for you to see. But it was a fun movie of the time, a boner comedy of the time, along with Bachelor. Comedic Tom Hanks. That's also who you missed. Comedic Tom Hanks was a very fun actor in the 80s before he switched over to dramatic Tom Hanks.
See, we're just going to have to start doing movie dates so you can show me all these things, because I have not seen any of them. I grew up not really having a TV in my room or a TV that I got to like have control of the remote. So I just watched whatever my parents put on or whatever my older sister or brother had put on. And it was, very few cool things, because my dad would put on like Ice Truckers and stuff like that, which wasn't not interesting, but it wasn't Star Trek, which I think he did put Star Trek on at one point, but I was too little to be like, this is cool. I liked Star Wars when they put it on, but Star Trek, I just kept walking my little booty out the room.
The reality TV show in general, knowing how staged that is now, it's just and it's surprising to me actually when I come across someone, this is staged. Yes, when you have the people at Storage Wars, the producers put fun things in in some of those lockers so they can have something to do.
I think an easy way to explain it to people is that, when YouTubers make a video or set up a skit, it's the exact same way when they do reality TV. Just a nicer camera. But some people, I guess, also don't realize skits and things on YouTube are planned. Some people do think it's real life, which if you think YouTube is real life at this point, you might have to get off, log out of your account.
There is an autistic person on TikTok that I can't quite decipher if he is that socially awkward autistic person he's portraying, or if he's doing a bit, because the comedic timing is just so perfectly Tim and Eric that I'm like, he does fit the mold, but yeah, maybe he does fit that mold too well, where this is all staged. Because some people really are putting themselves out there on social media as is, and well, a lot the polished version. You want we're not showing you the moles on the assholes like some ladies are.
And I have to say, those people, they're who you could see getting comedy right. Like they have it nailed down where you really can't figure out, is this who they are if you met them in real life, or are they just trying to make that, for the TikTok money? Do it for the Vine. You remember that? Putting yourself at risk for internet fame.
There's a few of those that have gone by the wayside of those quick in and out video social media type sites.
I have to recommend you check this out, though. There's a side of TikTok that I just recently discovered. Now, it's not hot girls. I mean, yes, there are some girls participating in this behavior, but have you heard of rot maxing? Rot TikTok.
That one is new to me. That has not showed up in my algorithm yet. Rot masting?
Rot maxing.
Maxing.
So
rot
it's
maxing.
Living your worst, disgusting life and showing the internet.
We did find a pheromone maxer. He kind of got a little viral, and I featured the pheromone maxer. So that sounds like a little that I may have dabbled a little bit in the rot maxing, coming across the pheromone maxer, who thinks that women, human women, work like bug and animal women, and no, sir, no. he is misguided.
I mean, isn't that like how you like each other's natural scent?
That is true to a degree, but you need to shower at some point. You want a little taste of the scent, not a full on wall of the natural scent.
Yeah, everybody, you need to shower more than once a week, please.
In the winter, you can get away with more days of not showering than the summer, but the summer, you need to be pretty consistent with that showering.
Every night, if not every other day, because you're getting real sweaty. It's been like 100 degrees, so there's no way to avoid getting drenched in sweat when you go outside, and you're gonna stink. So take a shower. This has been Hygiene with Dylan and Dalish.
This is Hygiene 099. This is a non-credit hygiene course. Stick around for Hygiene 101. And thanks to Husey Entertainment for the super chat. $5 over there in that play money they use across the pond. Hey, Dalish, did you know I'm suing Dylan and Andy because they refused to put out the audio podcast version of the video game show? Luckily, I haven't been served with that yet. So now we are both aware, Husey, that your lawsuit is coming down the pike. And that's actually something
Or it didn't happen. Pixar, it didn't happen, Husey.
That's actually something you're getting into on your channel. You've started making some safe for work content with some TellTale games of Batman and the not the Walking Dead. I've seen that, and I haven't gotten into the TellTale games. Arkham City is in my top 3 games of all time. Love me some Arkham City, but I haven't gotten into the TellTale version of storytelling in video games.
Well, I wouldn't recommend the Batman TellTale game. I'm gonna be completely honest with you in chat. I don't really like it. That's not my Batman, but it's okay.
There are so many versions of Batman out there. I'm starting to enjoy the Cape Crusader on Prime. I'm a few episodes into that, and so far I'm liking. They've got the aesthetic of the curved horns on Batman as he did in the 1930s. So an odd choice making Penguin gender switched, but they're making it their own.
I didn't hate it. I don't know how you felt about it, but I think they actually nailed it for a gender bent penguin. Like, they could have really fucked that up. I know people probably wanted to just see, a sexy, hot, big titty penguin, but there's something about this one, like, I don't know, she built like a muscle mommy, in my opinion, and I like the fact that she seems to, just have a shit ton of kids, and you don't know how many of them are in a trunk in the bottom of the ocean and how many are walking the streets.
And this is the early 1900s, well, mid in 1930s. There's also just a lot of infant mortality. She has really worked out those pregnancy organs for all those kids that are just no longer with us.
Birthing hips.
I do have there's a reviewer who reviewed. I'll be doing it soon on Co-Host Audition. Who reviewed the Batman porno parody, and I guess I read the overview. I didn't watch any of it, and I'm like, oh, this is lazy, because I've actually got in my notes a whole lot of ideas on 2 different versions of Batman. One, my friend wanted to do a Mexican Batman in Los Angeles, and the porno parody version of Batman, where you got to change the names slightly, because we've got Fat Man and Scat Woman, and their romance is because Fat Man he really gets her fetish done much better than everyone. Throbbing instead of Robin. Two Phallus. I mentioned recently there is an actor out there who can play Two Phallus without any prosthetics. Hopefully, we can get him.
Oh my goodness. That reminds me though, there is like a Justice League porn game. Now I can't remember what it's called at the moment, but I would just say you would enjoy it. Chat, you would also enjoy it. It's very hot, very sexy. I've been thinking about streaming it on one of the not safe for work sites because I can't stream it on YouTube since it, like I said, it's straight up just Justice League if it was them doing porn. I think it's Lex Luthor, like he mind controls them with like a chip or something. So he makes them work for him at like he's basically pimping them out. And you just get to fuck them. It's good.
That's a fun variant. That these are people who Brainiac and Lex Luthor got together, and now they're pimps and hoes.
We're busy saving a different type of crime, the crime of that dick being hard, and no Harley Quinn on it.
The blue balls. They need to be taken care of. That is a crime that the balls are blue. They must be drained. The ropey loads must be gotten out.
People keep saying clip it to certain things we've said. Clip that one.
Yeah, I see that one now that you mentioned it. Sexy, hot, big-titted penguin is one that is being called for to be clipped. One thing on your channel that you've experimented with that I really enjoy was you were trying snacks, which is fun, but eating the big old burger. That was a whole ad campaign of sexy ladies in bikinis eating burgers from Carl's Jr. So you're onto something, and to me, yeah, there's something more appealing. I guess because it's just such a big meal for a petite woman to eat.
You nailed it on the head. That was my goal perfectly, was to try and give that Carl's Jr. vibe when they were putting sexy women with big burgers. And obviously I get the comment of, she would be prettier, or I like her, but she needs to eat a fucking sandwich or eat a fucking burger. So here I am eating a burger, eating a sandwich. And
so for those who say,
will I put the weight on in this area?
See how that goes. DJ Electra mentioned yesterday on Lunchbox, the weight goes to her tits first. So that is something that we'll see if the weight goes to the boob and the butt, and as I mentioned, I do enjoy curvy ladies. So if that weight goes elsewhere, I would be in favor of that as well. So, some people not as much, but actually there was one porn star who completely body transformed, went in to the eating on camera on the like strip chat and chatterbait type sites, and just completely body transformed from petite kind of curvy lady to big lady.
Well, my goal is to get back to a healthy weight, maybe a little bit over that, because I like how I look with a little bit of tummy. And yeah, I've noticed so far it's been going straight to my ass. So if there's any ass men out there, yeah, I might be tiny, but all those burgers are going to my butt.
I approve. Sir Mix-a-Lot approves a lot, and that was something in the '90s that kind of changed, because it was more of the style to be just super thin, no curves, and thanks to rappers like Sir Mix-a-Lot, even white boys got a shout about that big old booty.
Dylan likes butts and he cannot lie. Big butts, right? That's the way the song goes. I already goofed it up. Whatever. I'm 25 and I'm cute. I could say whatever I want.
It's better that you stumbled over it. I lived through it, and I stumbled much worse over it trying to get that rap out. So I have much less of an excuse. You're catching up on the culture of the early 90s, 80s, whereas I was there. And I have, like, you mentioned not having a TV. There is just so much random, useless television and movie knowledge I have that I could have learned 3 different languages. I see some people in different cultures knowing so many languages. I'm like, yeah, I should really be proficient in Spanish and at least one other German, French, throw a rock. But nope. I know about Ray Pruitt and Valerie Malone, and there's just nothing. There's no use to that knowledge.
I tried to learn quite a few languages when I was younger. I think I was just dumb. I think I am still dumb. To quote Alex Jones, I'm a little bit retarded. I'm Italian, so I've tried to learn Italian. I don't know much. I know Kagagats. Everybody knows Nona. I tried to learn German, French. Again, I know a few words, but it's not like I could really give you a full sentence. Same thing with Spanish. I took that for 3 years, I believe, and I still fucking suck at it. I tried to take an advanced like college Spanish class in high school. I had to drop it because you have to speak it, and I am an anxious person. It was far worse when I was a teenager. I did not like to talk. Maybe that's why I stumble over my words so much now, because I didn't speak very much when I was younger.
Naturally introverted for me as well. When people hear, "Oh, you like to perform," and you putting yourself out there, that's something that they would be like, "You were a quiet, introverted person." Like, yep, knock that wall down pretty well.
I used to not be able to give presentations for class, and now here I am on a stream just talking, just gabbing. Granted, projects were a little bit more intimidating, right? Because you were going to get graded on it. I guess views are your grade, right? The like button is the grade, if you want to equate it to that.
Yeah, that's a way to put it. If you like this stream, you are giving me at least a C average, a B, an A. The more likes, the more I can equate it to passing this class of interviewing, which I'm starting to get back on because YouTube did not like my reviews. They if you use clips, YouTube is very finicky. You can test them out and everything, and they'll be like, "It's fine," and sometimes they'll change their mind and say, it's not fine after all. You're blocked worldwide."
Yeah, I've been noticing. I don't really mind, obviously, getting the copyright on music if I do ever get monetized. It's not like I really give a shit about making money off the videos. It's for the fun, right? But
yeah, you do it because
obviously
it's
I get
fun.
blocked in Russia, but I haven't gotten blocked everywhere yet. That's my fear. Like you said, is it being cool for a second, just blocking you in one place and then blocking it everywhere? YouTube, please.
And that's definitely what you want to do with the streaming, is do something you enjoy, and then if you're doing a hobby, if it never makes money, and just being monetized. I'm dropping a day from work. I wouldn't if I wasn't a frugal person. I would stick up with 5 days a week at it's a whatever job. It's need to do something to get that income. But you're just living off the OnlyFans, right? Do you have any other type of work, or is that all your income?
Well, if you want to like dumb it down to that, yes. But no, like that's not where I make all of my money. That is, yeah,
That
if I was
branch
to
of
say
work.
what I do, what I make my money from, I would say I'm an OnlyFans girl, right? But in reality now I could say I'm a YouTube streamer. I'm an OF girl. I do a lot now. I'm gonna be a permanent Saturday co-host on Frog Tony's stream, just talking about geeky shit. So
All right, yeah,
I
let's give that a
I'm
plug. Is that coming up this Saturday on Frog Tony's stream?
yeah, I've met a lot of people through collabing with Mint Salad for OnlyFans OF. So uh her seeing her work so hard is what made me want to work harder. That's why I want to do more than just make my money from OF, which is nice to
Yeah,
say.
absolutely. Diversifying and expanding. She's a visual artist, correct? So she's doing some creative type of stuff with her hands, as well as the dirty things she does with her hands.
She does a lot of stuff. Just like how I said, yeah, we can dumb it down to OnlyFans for every e-girl, right? But the reality is also she's doing her own cool streams. She's doing comic books. Free Riley, with the whole Ripaverse thing. That's a whole drama in itself. I
Yeah,
I could go
that
into it, but we'd be here for a while.
that's something I got informed. Carl Hamburger covered that, and yeah, that drama is just nuts. So that is indeed a rabbit hole of Riley and Eric July. Just ugh. That guy. I knew nothing of Eric July, and then everything I've learned of him, I'm like, oh, this guy is very full of himself and a dick, isn't he?
I just want to go on record saying I've said this everywhere, but Riley is one of the coolest people you will ever meet. So it's funny to see someone so intimidated by him that they called the cops on him when he was handing out comic books relevant to the event to fans. Like
That
just
he was
that's so
invited
fucked
to.
up.
That he was invited there, and it was a trap. Colin Akbar, it was a trap. Yeah, come on down. There's this guy that doesn't have the passes to get in, and he's loitering. Get him for loitering.
You know what? Riley showed up and Eric July was like, did the soundbite play?
I didn't hear the soundbite.
Fuck. It plays on my other stuff. It was just the whole ladies and gentlemen, we got him. If you've heard that sound clip before.
We got him.
We
Yeah,
got him.
that one's a classic one. The we got him. Woo!
It would have been cool if it played. If it played, it would have been really cool, but it didn't play, so now it's not really cool.
And I was a nerd. I did not hear that we got him first. I heard John Cena announcing to the crowd that they got him. So that thank you, John Cena, for informing me of when they got him.
Anyway, my bad for thinking I was going to be so cool and do a little sound drop for you, and then I goofed it up, but
Yeah, we should have tried that beforehand. We could have done a little test. That's a mistake I made with Comedy Shaman as well. StreamYard is baby's first streaming software. It is so simple, and he uses OBS and Discord, and both of those. I just got monetized, so I need to learn those. I need to get away from just knowing this basic, super user friendly, putting the circle in the circle hole. I need to start streaming with a little bit of calculus involved with those other sites, because I know there's a lot more that I can do diversifying. But yep, for right now, still an amateur. But thank you, StreamYard, for making me look halfway like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, when you learn the other stuff, as intimidating as it can be, and it might feel hard at first, when you get it down, it makes streaming so much cooler and so much more fun for you too. Like, I have a bouncing emote wall, and I love to see people put like little frogs that bounce across the screen, or bear
I've seen that
emote.
a lot on Twitch. Those animations, those are a fun addition. Yeah, and
And then,
also video
I was
games.
gonna
You've got the audio figured out. I did some video game streaming, and on StreamYard I could not figure out how to get the audio to come through. So I just had a bed of DMCA free music, like I've seen, like GTA 5 streamers. They have a bed of DMCA free music, because there are strikes abound in GTA for streamers.
I would definitely suggest Streamlabs is baby's next steps to OBS.
I shouldn't have gotten the year on StreamYard. I have like 10 more months. I could have done that next step up to the grade school version of streaming, of Streamlabs.
I think
But
it's on sale right now. Sorry to interrupt, but like, just to say for you and for anyone else, I think Streamlabs is on sale for like $9 if anybody wants to try it out. But yeah, you already bought the year to StreamYard, so I understand committing. Sorry for interrupting.
I went for that. Ooh, I get a couple bucks off per month. Gimme. There's my frugalness coming through again. Of yeah, give me a couple of bucks off. I can buy a pint with those couple of extra bucks.
I can go get me a little coffee with those few extra dollars. Hell yeah.
I don't
This
need
is
to
a
go
good
and make
sale
it
for me.
myself. I can go out in public, and that is good for my writing. Do you get? You said you liked Mint Salad's art. Do you get into visual art or creative writing? Anything along those lines of creating?
So I can't do, like, I can't draw. If you ask me to draw, we've talked about this. I can't for the life of me. Just ask me to draw a pig and then I can save myself. But life or death situation, you ask me to draw a portrait of you, I'm sorry. I'll just go in, I'll go take care of it myself. You don't have to put me out of my misery. But when I was younger, I used to love writing. I used to write poems a lot. So I think that transfers over a little bit to, I write little scripts for videos sometimes, whether that be safe for work or not safe for work. But like, Mint does cool things like comic books, right? I've never ventured into anything like that. I've always thought it would be cool to write scripts or make a video game, but
I enjoy the process of world building. Right now, I'm doing the script of the Lifetime original movie of Aaron Imholt and the Polycule, because he mentioned that on his stream, that he was approached by a low-tier Lifetime associate producer who's trying to climb the ladder. And I was like, ooh, that's a fun writing exercise. It's been a long time since I did world building, and it takes me a while like, if I'm starting from scratch. Like, this is taking me less time because the world is already got a skeleton to it. But starting from scratch, of coming up with different characters that exist in the world, what are the rules of this universe? Another obscure reference back to Eating Raoul. Very on in early in the movie, they establish that you can just kill people who are criminals. That this is the world we live in. That murder for the dregs of society is just what this is. So yeah, building up from the ground up, that is a process. Takes me about a month, like 6 weeks, last time I did it of uh, creating a sitcom from scratch, and I took creative writing in college, learned it prose, and then moving to Los Angeles, it's like, well, let's put this in script format. This is the town that buys scripts. Plus, I've just always loved movies and TV more than books because once again, I'm a little bit retarded. I have they've already done so many elements for me. The whole process. Did you ever act in theater or anything? That's what helped open me up as well. Being more of an extrovert, it was performing for theater and then eventually for television.
I got as far as getting a script for the little drama club in my middle school, but I never auditioned.
That was something that was required at my community college. You must audition. You don't have to accept the part. And the first play I did was an ensemble. So everyone had quite a large role. Of the 6-8 people that were in it, I had the very first line of dialogue. So it was kind of like, can I do this? I'm doing it. Here we go. And it's fun working with people.
It from there.
Yeah, people get bit by the performance bug. Some people who really shouldn't be bit by the performing bug, and they just, you just feel so sad for those people who just are so passionate. Donkey Lips, I covered on Monday. He is so passionate and still wants to do it, and
he's my friend.
Yeah, Michael Ray Bauer. I feel bad for him that he's still chasing that dream. When like I threw in the towel. I would like to go to another film town and try it again, but for now, it's not panning out how I'd want it to. Let me just be a regular ass person with a regular ass job, and I do feel bad for him because he has got bitten by that bug hard, and he wants to continue it, and it just hasn't been happening.
He's just a real good person, and I think at this point it would be smart for him to pursue streaming. But it's easy to get intimidated when people are watching you, like you're watching him, not even in a sense of to be mean or to shit on him, but it gets intimidating, right? Knowing when you're gonna put something on YouTube, there's going to be these other streamers that watch it and commentate on all your little movements that they believe to be wrong or weird. But like you said, he's just a passionate guy. He just has so much passion, and I get it. Sometimes your passions for things don't pan out, but I'm a hard believer of don't give up if you're passionate, even if it never makes you anything. Just do it. As long as it puts a smile on your face. But if you're just doing it for a monetary value and you're not making it and you have no passion, what are you doing?
You also come across the people who are doing it for instant fame, the people who want to be on screen to be famous, which now streaming and all the social media, that's kind of taken the place of people looking for that easy fame. As the Hawk to a Girl shows, sometimes it is that easy of just being drunk and throwing something out there. And I'm looking forward to it. She does appear to be witty. I'm curious to see if she can parlay this into something, or if she is a one-hit wonder of a drunken lass on the street.
I'm gonna just need her to accept her origin story as Hawk to a Girl, and then whatever she does from here, I'm fine with. But if she's
absolutely
apparently trying to disown that.
Is she now? It's going to be a long time before she can be recognized as, because no one knows her as Haley Welch. They know who the hell is Haley Welch?
I mean, I had no idea. Was she trying to get was she always trying to get popular beforehand, or was she just, the on the street people, they just go up to you? So did she just get famous from that? And can you really expect to say, guys, I don't want you to know me for Haktua? Well, then what am I supposed to know you for? Being a random woman on the street? I could
drunk
walk
lady.
past her on the street. I wouldn't know a thing. I'm sorry to this woman.
You've got to accept that you are a drunk lady for a bit, and eventually maybe you'll be remembered for something else. But I can't believe how much that blew up, and it's yeah, there's people just out seeking fame. That's what they're grasping for. I want to be drunk on the street and then be known worldwide.
I think of it this way. Remember, a lot of actresses and actors, they started in porn because they wanted to get into serious acting, right? But really, one of the most, maybe not lucrative ways, but a way to make money and get your face out there was to do porn.
More lucrative
Now,
on the female side than the male side.
yes, but that being said, one of the actors from Friends, can't remember which one, like he did porn before he became famous from doing Friends. So it can go both ways. That being said, I feel like now, again, you can do OF, and that's a real easy way to get your fucking hunkers out there. But the easiest and most accessible way for anybody, because you don't even have to show your face, you don't have to show your hunkers, streaming on YouTube, streaming on Twitch, talking about other people. So that's like now how people view YouTube is a way to step up. Like they can become actors and actresses if that's what you really wanted. You don't have to be Hawk to a girl. You don't have to be Dylan from somewhere on YouTube. People can come find it and be like, hey, remember when he did this? But you can be known for other things. It's completely up to you.
And you have to put in the time. There are some people who do blow up overnight. It took me 14 months to get monetized, and modeling myself, well, not modeling myself, but just looking at who are these podcasts. It took Carl 2 years before he got significant traction on his show. Patrick Melton was doing it for funsies for quite a while. He's been doing this for years.
For funsies for 18 years. I mean, that's not anything to scoff at, right? Like I said, if you have a passion, pursue it.
Which is how he got so sharp once he finally got that traction. Is you're now seeing him after 18 years of sharpening up that wit. And same with stand-up comedians. Most of them have been doing it for 10, 15 years when they're a new comedian on the scene that you're aware of, because they had to put the pieces together. And now you're seeing the puzzle when it's looking proper.
Right. Whatever anybody wants to say about his comedy when you're out in person seeing him, everybody can sit down and agree that how he streams and interacts with chatters, he has his niche. Like nobody else can do what he's doing now. Granted, yeah, it took him 18 years to get his little community of assholes and hags, but he made it, and here he is, and he's built one of the most toxic communities along with Simcast that I have ever witnessed. That being said, there are some cool people that have been a part of it, and some cool people that are still in his chat.
That was the same
like streamers that degrade you.
That was the same with the Opie and Anthony pets. There were some good peoples, and there were some really psychopaths along in there. That's it goes with the territory of some fan bases where you've got some crazies and you've got some very decent people rubbing elbows with each other.
Exactly. And I mean, whoever comes, that's not up to him. It's like you're going to take your chatter's money, right? But I've always been of the opinion that I'm not going to put my chatters down for their means. I'm not going to degrade them. You're here to hang out with me. That's really fucking cool. I guess that's my niche, is not shitting on the people who watch me. But some
Not without a
people,
coffee table as a barrier.
some people have a degradation kink, right? And
Hello. Yes, I did score high on the BDSM test of degrader and degradee. Pretty even. So some people like degrading, some people like being degraded. I do go both ways there. So if that is one of those streams you do of I'm being mistress mean to you degradees, that is up my alley.
Dylan,
Yes.
date number 2. We should take the quiz together. We should each take it and do our results. Even though you've already done it, do it again with me on stream.
Yeah, it's been a while, so my taste may have changed. My FetLife profile might be out of date because you do change as a person. I do recall last time ethical non-monogamy 100%. We'll see if I still hold that being 100%. I know for a fact I am going to score low on Brat. I am a good sub and I follow orders, and I like my mistress to be pleased when she gives me an assignment. I know for a fact I am scoring very low on Brat.
I'm going to score high. Right now, stomp 100%. I'll take my punishments, though. See, we have to take the test. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm interested to see what I score because I haven't taken it since I was like a teenager.
It's been years for me since I took it, and it was for FetLife, and I haven't been on FetLife in quite a while. But I was like, I'm either going to show the face or I'm going to show the wang, and I went with the face of showing rather than the wang. I guess I could do both, but that seems to be what a good many people decide is like. I am putting myself out there. I want to be very lewd with it and keep my anonymity, or be kind of lewd with it and show you who I am.
I like that you were confident enough to at least have the thought of, am I going to show my dick or my face? Because a lot of people are too afraid to, show what's underneath the clothes, even if they hide their face, right? So I like your confidence.
When I was dating, I allowed the kinky nanny to put the lower half on, and it was kind of odd going and meeting some of her kink friends and them giving me compliments on my wang, and it's like, oh, that's right, you've seen me fully erect. It's on her page over there.
Sorry. I was like, oh, I can find it.
Yes, it is. Well, if the kinky nanny still has her page, I haven't been on FetLife in a while, but it exists from years and years ago. Another, I think she's the only one that put up the full Monty. I don't think any of my other play partners asked. So can I show everything? Yeah, I think she was the only one. So one lady over on FetLife has the everything from years ago. Actually, those pictures will be much better than me currently. As I put on this jacket, I'm like, oh, you lazy bastard, Dylan. You need to do yoga. This is not acceptable of how these clothes kind of sort of fit, but not. I'm the opposite of you, where you need to. Your goal is to get a little bit more weight. I'm just being lazy. I enjoy yoga more than weightlifting. I love a yoga body, and yeah, I'm very natural at it. The Alors Danlos that Eric the Midget has and DJ Electra has, I haven't been diagnosed, but I do believe I might be one of those hyper flexible people. There's a few things that it leads me to believe I've got the hyper flexible version. My buddy who got me into it was so jealous of how quickly I progressed into yoga because it was just natural to me. What type of exercise are you into? Are you a weight girl or a stretch girl, running, walking?
Well, you said quite a few things that I want to hit on before I answer that question, but I was going to say, now you can tell people you also got your start in porn, huh? As a joke.
A little dabbling in the adult content, just some still pictures that exist somewhere.
And then when it comes to the clothes situation, yeah, I started realizing I need to get thicker when clothes that I used to put on that were tight as fuck are now a little loose. That just ain't right. So, and I think
Yeah, you
that
don't want
you
to
look good
rebuy
how
your
you
whole
are.
wardrobe. You rebuy. Well, that's why I want to lose just a little bit of weight because I don't want to rebuy my wardrobe. As you're saying, that nope. I like these clothes. I like my wardrobe. I look good in them. I am not rebuying. I don't want to buy another. I've got like a half a dozen jackets, sports coats like this, and I want to keep them. I don't want to buy more of them. So yeah, just a little bit. I don't need
They,
to take a lot off. I just need to take a little bit off. Just like you put a little bit on so the wardrobe is proper.
which I've had to give in and obviously adjust and buy some tighter clothing. But the goal is to fit back in to my other clothes, which means the tighter clothing will only be my breastises are gonna be popping out. They're gonna be spilling out of those tops.
Yay!
Yeah. And when it comes to exercising, uh, yeah, you have to stretch, otherwise you're gonna pull a muscle. So, um, I do like yoga. Wouldn't say that that's what my go-to is or something that I have down like maybe you do. Um, I see there are a lot of videos I could watch and like try to get a little bit more experienced in it, but
It's also one of those things where you can physically see the results of things you couldn't do months ago. Crow pose is one when I did it a few months ago, and I should have kept with it. I was like, can I still do this? And I can do it for a second. I used to be able to hold that pose for a while, but I was like, yeah, I can do it for a second, a couple of seconds at least. I can work my way back up to doing it for minutes at a time. And the same with going to the gym. You see those results immediately, but then you do. People get discouraged when they hit that wall of this is the body type for a while after a long time.
maybe I'm not one of those people that are discouraged because I like seeing it stay the same once you've, noticed progress and you see your body is like, in my mind, at that perfect shape, perfect abs. That's what I usually have. Even if I have a little tummy, I still have some abs at my peak body. So, but then, like you said, there's people who want to see their body get musclier. I don't really want to get musclier. I like my abs and I like a little something to grab. But right now, I'm a tiny little petite girl you could toss around, and there's nothing wrong with that. But walking is easy when you're a small little lady. Stretching, I might pull something, might break an elbow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Fall
And I've
over
yet
on
to hear.
myself. Ah.
I've kept you here for almost 90 minutes. Thanks for joining. I am going to go to the chat for a little bit before we wrap up. Any questions you folks have? I'm going to hang out for a little bit. And yeah, thanks for coming on my first episode of Chatting With in a few months.
Thanks for having me. I hope I did good. I hope chat enjoyed.
I definitely had fun. Both of our conversations I've enjoyed, and I think I'm, as I said, of sharpening up. I think I'm getting a little better. I do stumble over my words sometimes, but some people will find that charming. Some people will be like, "This guy stinks." Where'd that go? Yeah, so some people will not be a fan of that, and some people will find it charming.
No. Listen, I think our awkwardness is our charm, but that chatter, the reason they're saying that is because they ship me with someone else. They don't know Dalish and Dylan. They know Dalish and someone named Wizard. So you know how it goes.
They've seen your dynamic elsewhere, and they're like, oh, I want that old dynamic. Nuts to this guy.
Well, let's see if I score high on that ethical. What? Oh, you got monogamy. I guess I was going to say polyamory.
Yes, ethical non-monogamy, polyamory.
Non-monogamy.
Last time,
there we go.
Last time I got 100% on that. King Yeti is curious what your what's behind your paywall. And I did see that you are exploring all entrances, so that is behind the paywall, King Yeti.
Well, have I? I think. I mean, I like it. The question was if I like it. The answer is yes. It should also be behind the paywall. If not, I mean, coming soon, I guess, right?
And some people come quicker with that type. I have not gotten into the, as I mentioned, of being complimented on my pecker. That was actually a gangbang I went to. I did not participate. It was the kinky nanny was like, this is a mansion party. Are you? I've got friends. I like to watch. You can go have fun if you want.
Pimped you out, dude.
Oh, she was ready to be like, go have fun. Two things of why I was only able to watch. One, it's just an assault to the senses. The first time you see that in real life. I'm a pervert. I've seen that on video a lot of times, but in real life, it was an assault to the senses. Number two, there was a drunk lady there, and there were a few women that were babysitting her, and like, you cannot consent. No, you can't go in there. So the numbers were all fucked up. They were already not great, not even. So having
dudes to ladies ratio was off.
Yeah, the ratio was way off, and even more so with some of the ladies who would be playing, babysitting the lady that it's like, you are not allowed to play. You are too hammered.
At that point, everybody should just put a movie on. The ones that want to go fuck, just go fuck. We're gonna watch Shrek out here.
Yeah, the referee, the gangbang referee, I don't know exactly what you would call him, had to be like, all right, guys, this is one of two girls that we have playing. Take it easy.
But hey, I love that they were making sure it was a safe situation. Assault to your senses or not, at least they made sure everybody was safe. Yeah, it is jarring to see.
If the numbers were a little more in favor by the end of the night, I might have started going with it. But yeah, for that very first time, and I I don't like cucking. So if that would have been something that got me upset, if she was someone who likes to play, and it's like I don't have it in me to play here. I'll participate with you. I will. I'll be the bull. That is pretty hot of being the bull, but the cuck, nope, that's not in my wheelhouse. Playing with, but not just sitting back and watching it happen.
The ideal situation was you and her walk in there and it was a house full of pretty women in lingerie, but you walked in and it was like, oh, there's dicks and pussy here, and it's not my dick and pussy. Hello.
It was, even if it was good numbers, I would have needed a few hours to acclimate to being there in person, and sights, sounds, and smells, all of those you have to get used to. There are no smells watching it over the video. There are smells in real person.
Some people don't light a candle. We could benefit from some candles and some good hygiene, like we were saying earlier.
I don't see any questions. Gang bung could indeed be the past tense of gang bang. Star Chunksta is watching this in a church. I'm very happy we could bring some very naughty language
Church
into
on a Thursday?
They do stuff. Maybe he's at AA. Sorry if I'm exposing that anonymous thing. But churches have other events. JJ Dabbles was actually talking about how his I think he had a punk band that performed primarily at churches. So they do different activities. That sometimes they have boxing matches for charity. At least that's what TV told me. Louder Milk. That's what I'm quoting there. Another obscure TV show. Aaron M. Holt and I could be friends in another life with as many obscure TV and movie shows that we watch, but nope, not this one.
I mean, stranger things have happened. You can never say never. What if he changed? What if he stopped choking women without their consent?
I'm glad you put that at the end there, because with their consent, that would have been just fine. And he was more of a squeezer than a choker. So that is something you need to want to get better. And hopefully he wants to get better one of these days. And until he does, I'll be goofing on him along with Spurksnake next week on the St. Cloud Moron Show. And we have fun goofing on him. And I'll be back next week with another co-host audition and TikTok around the clock. Rot maxing. I am going to seek that out. Thank you for telling me about rot maxing.
It's an interesting one. You will be baffled, because some people they're just doing it for the TikTok money. And I can't imagine like living in that filth just for the money. Even if you contain it to just one room, like it can't be a safe living situation. And of course, there's some people who do it for seriously. Like it's not just them being like, hey guys, I just play video games and here's the cockroaches on all the food that I stacked up. There's some intense one. You'll see. I don't even want to give you a hint about how bad it gets because I want you to see for yourself.
I'm curious if that's going to run off viewers the way that ASMR does. I was surprised how much my viewers hate ASMR. To me, I find it funny. They're making blowjob sounds into the microphone with that they do, but it is just ear poison to a lot of people, that type of thing.
If it's not something that turns you on, then that sound, it just like, it's like crawling on the skin. But no, I get queasy seeing gross things, but I could handle the rot maxing. So I think you'll be okay. I think the viewers should have fun with the goof.
That would be fun. Anything else to plug? You've got Dirty Dalish over on Twitter. Is that your OnlyFans name as well?
Yeah, I think it should. Yeah, it's Dirty Dalish on OnlyFans. It's Dalish Tokes on X. Delicate Dalish on Instagram, and otherwise you can just Google Dirty Dalish and you will find a lot of me.
There is a lot to be seen. Pinned right at the top of your X is a lot to see. Fantastic promotion on that pinned tweet. And oh my goodness, Mint Salad and you. Those I haven't seen the full video. The little previews that you give, a little petite girl with a busty curvy lady. Oh, so good. Also, her name, Autistic Boobs, on Twitter. That made me laugh. I love that she chose Autistic Boobs for her Twitter X name.
She's such a funny person. Like, great tits, great mind, great personality, best humor I've ever seen on a woman. I should be hopefully making content in person with her again soon. If not, there will be some spicy streams for us together on OF. But yeah, sometime this year I should be making content again with her. And you can also catch me streaming video games if you don't want to see me and a cute lady's titties. But like, I know what you guys want to see. Come on, you heard Dylan. You heard how it got him. You want to go look.
You hooked me. I love a petite body. I love a curvy body. So the collaborations with Mint Salad, that is a good one. And the of all the things, as I said on your Safer Work stream, it's the burgers. Like Carl's Jr. was definitely onto something. Burgers in a bikini. There's something much more hot about the burgers than like fried chicken or a steak dinner. None of them seem, I guess, because it's a little bit sloppy. The burger, right. It's
that
dirty,
drippy, juicy burger. Now you get me hungry, which you just reminded me. If any of you catch my streams, we are like $30 away from next burger. What? Bikini burger stream.
Oh, so that's a goal that you have. Burger streams are once you hit the monetary goal. That is a nice little tease to get the next bikini burger stream going around to all the artesian burger places around Los Angeles and eating them burgers in a skimpy outfit.
They're gonna see me and they're gonna realize, why did we stop putting big titties next to big juicy burgers? They're gonna steal my grift, Dylan.
Start a new grift: petite ladies next to burgers.
Right.
So thank you. I was about to talk over you and to sign off. Now is the awkward part of the date, where we just said, "No, you go. No, you go."
No, you hang up first. No, I'll hang up first. No, I didn't really have anything to say. It wasn't important, and honestly, I kind of forgot what I was going to say. So that's the awkward part of the date where we're both awkward. And no, you hang up.
No, you hang up. See us be awkward on the second episode of Finding Love in the Dabbleverse coming up soon. We will schedule that for Dirty Dalish's channel in the future soon. Thank you for going from maybe, possibly, could be to yes, second date. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, and Husey at the last minute dropped in super chat.
Husey got a super chat again. Thank you for the 2 super chats today, Husey. Just in time, I was about to hit that button and go off air. I can hit the button again and stop the outro too. Dalish, did you know that I'm now before he said, but now is capitalized. He is now suing Dylan and Annie for not doing the Red Dead Redemption 2 episode yet.
When's it coming? That game is really good. When's it coming, Dylan?
I did have a lot of fun with that. I think I kind of fucked up a potential romance when that was brand new, and I went to my friend's house and couldn't pull myself away from that.
Is it the lady who feeds you?
It was a curvy lady. What was she?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the game you meant in real life.
Yeah, in real life, I bungled a romance because I got really addicted to Red Dead Redemption 2. Kurdish, I believe, a Middle Eastern curvy lady that bungled a potential romance because of Red Dead Redemption 2. I definitely look back on that and I'm like, you fool. You two were starting to get along so well, and you should have been there more often if you weren't roping different people in the Old West to see their reaction.
Hey, if she was the one, she would have understood, or she would have asked to come watch you play the game.
Yeah, it was her turn to reach out. It's not always on me. We both need to reach out.
Exactly. Lady, if you hear this, come ask him if you could play video games and sit on his lap and punish him for playing too much Red Dead.
And
you're out there.
A little bit of crushing. So come crush me as punishment. Get that frustration out of you for me bumping that ball of potentially being an item. You lady who I haven't seen in years now. that is about, about like 6-8 years old. So I don't know if I can make the recovery on that one. Like you've allowed me to make the recovery on a second date where I fumbled the ball a couple times, and you pointed, that was a fumble. Yes, it was. You were correct. Some of those were fumbles.
Now we'll see how compatible we are with our kinks.
BDSM test coming up soon over on Dirty Dalish's channel. Let's see if I am still about equal on Degrader, Degrade E. The crushing, that would be the Degrade E, not the Degrade-er. So, yeah, see if the kinks fit together. Thank you for joining, Dalish.
Have a good day. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, all you beloved chatters, for joining. Now, feel free to go away.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. It's fun being with friends. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye for now.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
Places all. All join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LS, MFT. Elementary corners like swinging on a gate. To right to your honey with the right left date. Grand right and left around you go. Lucky strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girls. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LS, MFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky strike is first again with tobacco men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a lucky strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a lucky strike.